Hi, welcome to my channel, Reader Woman. My name's Judy, and let's talk books. And also, I really wanted to welcome and thank all of my new subscribers. I was really excited. You have to understand, I am a minuscule booktuber, and I'm okay with that, but it was very exciting all of a sudden getting, I don't know, 40, 50 new subscribers all of a sudden. So anyways, I hope you like talking books. I talk about the books I get, the books I read, and just anything about my bookish life that I think might be of interest. So anyways, I have a haul. I had a wonderful trip after Christmas. My niece and I, she's 22. I'm hoping to actually have her on and talk about her reading this last year and what her goals are for 2020. But we both wanted to get out of town, so we decided to just do a 2-day. We drove 4.5 hours down to Portland, stayed that day and the next morning, and then in the afternoon we took off back home for home. So yeah, it was a very quick trip, but the highlight for me was Powell's books. I had never been there before. I don't know if you have. It was very different than what I thought. It's in the one I went to, which is I think the main one, although I saw that they have several locations around the Portland area and in Portland. But the main one takes up a full city block. It's 3 stories. And they hand you a map and you need it to get around in there. It was helpful reading the map. And I found I did have kind of an idea in my head, but I also wanted to leave it open for chance as to what I was going to get. So the prices, let me step back. Typically, where I live in Bellingham, you have new bookstores. We have a Barnes & Noble, and we have a local independent bookstore, Village Books. Village Books, for the most part, sells new books, but they do have a small variety of used. Not a huge variety, but you know. And then we have at least 2 other major bookstores that are used bookstores. So it was quite unusual for me to walk into Powell's and see the mix of new and used. My guess is that the main floor where we came in on, and they had a beautiful book sculpture with different languages. It was really cute. I didn't get a picture of it. I felt a little self-conscious, but I should have. But anyways, there seemed to be where a lot of the new books were. And then the rest of it were just, it was like a library, except you could buy the books. There were children's books, young adults, literature, art criticism, literary criticism, history, languages, science, political science, just everything under the sun, and they had it very well organized. Which isn't to say I wouldn't organize it a little bit differently if it was mine, but it was done really, really well. People were helpful, the health staff, although it was hard finding somebody to help you, I have to say. Excuse me. I'm a little dehydrated from my trip still. You just can't drink as much as you normally do. So anyways, glad to be home. You get rehydrated. So let's start with what I found. The first one I didn't even plan on buying. But when I saw the Loeb Classical Library section, I could not resist. I was too excited to find it. They had the green and then they had the red. Green is for Greek, red is for Latin. And I wasn't thrilled that my cover isn't perfectly centered. But I got Ovid, Metamorphoses, books 1 through 8. Yeah, 1 through 8. I'd actually hoped to get Julius Caesar, the Gallic Wars. But in my excitement, I could only think of Caesar. They probably had Julius Caesar, but it was under J, not C. But like I said, this was just, and then, yeah, because these are pricey. And this was bought in 2019. So I want to be perfectly clear about that. I am not sure what I'm going to be doing for 2020, and I will have a video on that. I know that it will not be a no-buy year for me. However, I also feel that I need to address the vast mounds of unread books that I have in my own library too. So I'm working on what my 2020 TBR is going to be, and I will have that later. But anyways, I was so excited to find this. I have been a lover of Latin. I don't have a lot of skill. Again, I was trying to take a course online and but it's definitely something I want to be able to read and translate for myself. So, and I feel like it's within my grasp. I just need to apply myself a little bit. So anyways, I was so excited to get this, and I got it at a discount of $19.50. Now, if you watch Steve Donahue with his amazing hauls from the Brattle, this ain't it. But for a West Coast person, this might be as good as it gets. So anyways, very excited to finally add one of these to my collection. The next thing I came across, okay, I was looking for P.G. Wodehouse. I collect him. I have a variety of different things of his. This was, to me, the biggest downside of Powell's bookstore. It goes up too high. And I'm like 5'4", and I just couldn't reach up high enough. And I did have a wait person, a staff person, come and help me get something else down. I'll show you later. But I didn't feel like having them just kind of rummage around because I wasn't able to reach to rummage. And they had like those little hardbacks that were published, but they weren't like necessarily the ones I would want, and they didn't look in the best shape. So I wasn't sure if I was going to do it. So I went out of there, but I was in the later letters of the alphabet, just to kind of give you. So the next time that I turned around, I saw Virginia Woolf. And she is definitely someone whom I have deliberately not read. I've always had a bit of I've always been pissy at her because she didn't support James Joyce. And I felt like she was snobbish, and yeah. However, that doesn't mean that her literature isn't worth reading. And so I was very happy to find this pretty little hardback of To the Lighthouse. And this is one that I have not read. And anyways, when was this published, I wonder? And it's an Everyman's Library edition. 91. So, you know, this will make a very nice addition to my ever-growing collection of Virginia Woolf. And while I was in that section, I also got this vintage. It's 2-in-1, A Room of One's Own, and 3 Guineas. So, you know, I'm definitely adding her to my TBR, my classics TBR for 2020. So yeah, I was happy to get a couple of books. You know, I thought I had bought some Virginia Woolf over the years, but I haven't been able to put my fingers on it. And I think I more bought the diaries than her actual literature. This was my real prize. A hardback copy of Beowulf, translated by Seamus Haney. I had an opportunity, we had a public reading of Beowulf, and I got to read a section over the winter solstice of 2019, and I was very impressed with this translation. It just read like a dream, and so I'm really anxious to finish it and put it on my read, but I'm really happy too to have a very nice copy of it for my long-term library. So yeah, I was really excited I knew this was one of the ones I had to get, and this was on my list of things that I had to find at Powell's. I found it on my own, which is, as well as, you know, using some ingenuity on my own part. I have to also say Powell's did a very good job of organization. So anyways, but yeah, very excited about this one. The next one I got is a new book, and I probably could have gotten it anywhere, but it's Year of the Monkey by Patti Smith. Patti Smith means a lot to me as both a singer and a poet and an author, and yeah, she's one of my living legends. So I'm really looking forward to reading this and adding it to my collection of her works. So yeah, I'm very excited about this one. And then I got very excited. I was trying to find these books that I've read this year. I've already read them, but I read them in a digital version. So Timothy Egan's The Immortal Irishman. I loved this book, and I'm really excited to have this on my shelf. When books mean as much to me as this one ended up being, I just really feel like, yeah, I want this on my shelf because I will want to reread this. And so I found this one, and then I also found this really nice hardback of The Worst Hard Time, which for me, this had so much meaning because of my family history. I know I will be going back to this. So I'm really excited to add these two Timothy Egan books to my collection. And the only one I'm missing now is The Big Burn. I will have to get that. But yeah, I was really, really happy to get those two Timothy Egans. And then the Curtis book I have on my Kindle. It came with one of the few things I actually wanted to read on my Kindle Unlimited 3-month subscription. So anyways, I have that yet to read, although it came through as an audiobook. Okay. And then this was the one that I asked the counter person to get me, and As You Like It. I wanted an individual copy of it. I have my, you know, complete Shakespeare. I actually have this in like a thick little, I don't know, vintage or something like that that has, I don't know, 5 or 6 plays in it, and that's what I read last time. But I really wanted a good copy. My book club here in town, we are going to read parts of it aloud, and so I have to determine who's going to play what, and because yeah, it was my idea. I'm not saying I'm going to direct, but yeah, I'm kind of excited for actually having us sit down and reading it. I think it will be a enjoyable evening, and particularly after reading Beowulf, I'm really excited about it. The New Cambridge Shakespeare, it wasn't exactly the one I wanted to get. Once again, it was so high up, I wasn't able to quickly go through. I did look at, they had the Oxford, and I quickly looked at it, but it had been written in. And I am making a solemn vow, no more books to buy that are written in, that are used. It just bugs the hell out of me, and there's no reason to bring that hell into my life. So yeah, this is the one I went with. Oh, and one last story. My stepmother, I took my stepmother to go see Little Women, directed, screenplay and directed by Greta Gerwig, whom I love, and I've tried to see everything that she's acted in and directed. I have great respect for the woman's talent, and yeah, and it's fun seeing somebody bloom the way that she has over the years. Went to go see Frances Ha, and so yeah, I just, and I'm actually kind of sad she's no longer acting. But anyways, my stepmother was quite taken with the movie too, and so she decided that she would like to reread Little Women. Well, that sounds fine and easy. And so my niece Katie, because her grandmother's birthday is coming up, decided to get her a copy of Little Women while we were in this bookstore. So unbeknownst to me, she goes up to customer service person and says, "Oh, I would like to buy a copy of Little Women." And this is like, excuse me, the 30th of December. I had one used copy of Little Women in the whole store. And it was bedraggled and the saddest looking copy I'd ever seen. And it was selling for $1.50. But that was the only copy of Louisa May Alcott's masterpiece in the store. It was amazing. It was truly amazing. So yeah, she was going to have to go elsewhere for that. Anyways, had a great time in Powell's. If you get the opportunity, I definitely recommend visiting. And as they say, Portland's the city of books. And there were definitely a lot of people in the store. I hope you enjoyed my book haul from Powell's, and we will talk again soon. Happy reading, guys. Bye.